What is good, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another episode with your boy Brandon and your boy Jacob. Buzz. Listen, link is in the bio. Everything. Go follow us. Go subscribe. TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Spotify. It's all there. Make sure you go look out. We're growing massively. We appreciate you guys so much. We're growing at a very great rate here. We're loving it. We're loving the commentary you guys give us. Jumping right into a lot of meat and potatoes that we have, Brandon. We're going to jump right into the NBA. We're going to start with the Golden State Warriors and the unfortunate news that they got Jimmy Butler done for the year. $56 million going to Jimmy Butler, unfortunately, who is now done for the year. Aging player that is still playing very well. Mind you, don't want to throw no shade there. But now where do the Golden State Warriors go from here? They have the Jonathan Kuminga situation that is hanging very heavily on their head, a young player, two-way player that's been sitting on the bench since December 18th of 25 is now being thrown back in. I wouldn't say to the fire because he is staying ready. He is doing the necessary work, but he's being thrown back into the fire to play. And you've seen in the recent interviews of the Kuminga question, Steve Kerr acting very immature about it. Go ahead, just fire away with the questions. You guys got a lot of Kuminga questions, acting real immature about it. Where do we make of the Kuminga Golden State Warriors Steve Kerr situation that we got going on? Where do you see this going, heading? How do you feel about it? And what does it say about Stephen Curry not speaking up and not asking for Kuminga to play more to make the game easier for him? What does this make you look at Steve Kerr as a head coach in the organization? I'll turn the floor to you.
As a whole, as an organization, I don't understand why you're keeping a player hostage that you clearly aren't willing to pay. And as a head coach side of it, I don't know why you're wanting to back the organization on not willing to pay or play a guy.
Yes.
And when it comes to Steph Curry as the leader of the men in that organization, knowing a dude that is a two-way monster, knowing a dude that's a lottery pick that can go and be a certified bucket at a high clip, at a high rate that we saw easily in the playoffs last year when Curry went down because of the high usage rate that he does have,
yes,
his injury history that he does have as well.
Yes,
based off of when you're used as much as he used,
you're gonna break down at some point.
At the age that he is, you need somebody to relieve some of the scoring weight off of you.
Yes, absolutely.
And acquiring Jimmy Butler was supposed to be that, but Jimmy
doesn't always. He's not as aggressive.
Not always aggressive or looking to score as I think a lot of players and or coaches would like him to be.
Yes.
But that being said, I think that Kuminga has put in the work on his own. He's put in the work out on the practice facility to always stay ready because as soon as he was called on, he came in and he had a very efficient 7% overall from the field.
Yeah, 21 minutes, 20 points, 7 to 10 shooting. Here, like just a couple of days ago, got his first start, obviously, first minutes. So,
and like you said, he missed
3 shots.
He missed he was a DNP from
December 18th till this week.
So it was I think it's 16 games. I think he was a DNP for. Then he comes out and he's a certified bucket, and he's not a defensive liability.
No.
And so if I'm another player and I get all the focus, but there's a dude that just chilling on the bench that can alleviate the scoring woes, why would I not want that at my aging age?
As Steve Kerr, for somebody that is the Stephen Curry system, that you have to be able to play that system, why can you not modify the system? Still have the Curry system, which is fine and dandy, but let Kuminga, if you're Curry, why are you not stepping up and talking? Hey, he could get a double team. He's going to attract a double team because of how efficient he is. That's going to make the game easier for me, which you already have to plan for me already. But now you have this certified bucket you got to plan for now. Makes the game easier for me. I can move more efficiently. I don't have to handle the ball as much because Kuminga can handle the ball.
Yeah.
I don't understand. Curry's got to hold some of the blame to me personally in this situation as well. Right, some goes on the organization. A lot goes on Kerr for not being able to play young talent or let them flourish in this system. But it's got to go on Curry too. You got to be able to release. You're 37 years old. You're not the same Curry you were years ago. Granted, you still shoot at a high rate, but he can make the game easier for. If I can make it easier for you, you should want that. And it's not. No one's talking.
I think this organization and this, I I would love to say I could put it on Curry, but I don't think Curry's a selfish player like that.
No, I don't think
Because
so
he
either.
has shared the floor with KD. He has
Yes.
shared the floor with Iguodala. He shares the floor with Draymond Green.
Yep.
He has shared the floor with future
lot of-
Hall of Famers, and he's okay with not being that guy. And so I don't necessarily think that Steph Curry's voice really translate a whole lot when it comes to who plays and doesn't play. Even
But is that a little weird to you, though?
Even same with Jimmy Butler. Well, I mean, like some franchises, they give the power more to the players, while some franchises don't. Like the Lakers, or like LeBron James, wherever he's at, he has a lot to say.
Okay.
I don't ever get that feeling from the Warriors that any player has more say than the owner or the coaches, and it has to be definitely a coach's decision on Kuminga not getting it. But I would have to feel like Draymond and Curry, knowing that the talent we have that we're not using, should be some kind of issue. But I also know Steve Kerr, when it comes to Team USA and having a plethora of talent wasn't able to get it done and get capture gold until he got this last year in 2025, where he got Braun, he got KD, he got Ant, and he got Steph, when they were able to go and capture gold in the Olympics.
Yes. So,
but to me, Kerr, has never been able to develop the young talent, because they've also had they've had
multiple lottery picks,
and then none of those dudes have ever turn into anything spectacular like you would expect them to be.
That we thought they would be.
Well, then turn into anything with what they should have been.
Yes.
And those guys, even former players, they come out and said, look, if you don't fit the mold of feeding the ball to Curry, then you're not going to fit with the Warriors. And Kuminga's that way. Kuminga's not, run around in circles and chuck up a shot. Kuminga's a dude that can take a guy one-on-one off the dribble, which is very actually rare in the NBA this day and age, to be able to win.
He's an inside-out player instead of an outside-in player.
Like, when you think of a dude that can take somebody that can score at all three levels, he can score at the rim, mid-range, and at the behind and hit the three ball. The dude can do that at will. You think of like Luka, you think Braun, you think maybe like a Tyrese Maxey. You think maybe even like Tatum can do it, a Jaylen Brown.
Yes.
But there's only a handful of dudes that can do it as efficiently as what currently Maxey is. Well, not Maxey, but what Kuminga is showing.
Yeah.
And the fact that Kerr can't seem to develop his game more is kind of a problem, in my opinion. And I've always had that opinion of Kerr not being able to develop the younger talent.
Yeah, that's been. We hear you, Bo.
Bo. We really appreciate you stopping by and giving us our opinion.
The people love you. Lay down.
But off of them, though, my question I want to move on to a different franchise. Is the Boston Celtics, who lost Tatum in the postseason to an Achilles injury, and they are currently 27-16 without Tatum, with a lot of the same players that made. Oh, so you got in trouble.
You got in trouble. He got to go now.
That made that run last year, minus Porzingis, who really didn't play because he had some
weird sickness.
Some weird sickness that he got fatigued very easily. Yeah. And then Al Horford, he then also moved on to the Warriors. Who he's not getting a lot of
I'm glad we're talking about the Celtics thing, because the media has pushed Tatum in an upper echelon that, okay, if you believe he's there, respect the opinion. I don't believe Tatum is there. I think we have tried to put Tatum in a box and just force him to be in that box. And people tried to say the Celtics weren't going to be great this year. There'd be a lottery team, outside looking in. Like Brandon just said, they are top 4 in the Eastern Conference, right, Mike?
They're number 2.
They're number 2.
They're 27-16.
Jaylen Brown is basically averaging 20. So these are his averaging. 29.8 points. That is phenomenal. Basically 30 points a game. 4.8 assists and 6.7 rebounds. Shooting phenomenally from the field and 3. And he's a great two-way player. Like, he's had a couple 50-point games this season. Gave Kawhi 54 points. That's pretty fucking impressive, considering not many people can, score like that on Kawhi Leonard. But he did that. He's showing that he is a number one option. And for Jaylen Brown, you have to almost feel like this is a coming out party for him because he's got an Eastern Conference Finals MVP that people try to sweep under the rug.
Yeah.
Oh, and he's got a Finals MVP that people try to sweep under the rug too. That's a wild thing to think about. But if you are the Boston Celtics, where do you go from here? Because the media and everybody try to tell you, man, Jaylen Brown's been on the trade block the last couple of years. Like Tatum's the guy, but now Jaylen Brown is out here carrying the Celtics with pretty much the same roster minus a couple of veterans and stuff like that. Younger guys are getting an opportunity to play. Second in the Eastern Conference. Who would have thought that? No Jason Tatum? What is that? What as you're the Celtics organization, your mind frame has had to have switched a little bit.
Well, you'd like to think they would switch a little bit, but I think if Jaylen Brown, because Tatum's not going to be back until about playoff time anyways.
If he comes back.
If he comes back. I mean, I think he will be. I think Tatum will come back. Players are coming back healthier and better from
medicine's better
from Achilles
technology.
Injuries and
Just
nowadays medicine. But I'm telling you right now, the Celtics come this offseason, if Jaylen Brown can lead the Celtics to a top 3 seed in the East with how dominant they've been. So currently the Celtics, they're 14-9 on the away. They're 6-4 in the division. In the conference, they're 20-10. They're scoring 116 points while allowing 109, which puts a +7 differential. And I'm saying right now, which is a humongous hot take, that if they have to move a player, they will move Tatum. You can't not move Tatum. If you want to, because of the luxury tax, they'll move Tatum over Jaylen Brown. You have no choice. You have the dude that won the Eastern Conference Finals MVP. If I'm a Celtics fan, it makes no sense after seeing what Jaylen Brown is doing as the solo star. Because he is the only star they really have, the franchise guy. But he already has, like you already said, Finals MVP, Eastern Conference Finals MVP. While he was butted up with Jason Tatum, and he struggled. And now Tatum is removed from the picture, and this dude is flourishing and having you second in the East behind, respectfully, the Detroit Pistons. Shout out to the Pistons, by the way, because they get zero love by the media.
Absolutely.
So shout out to them being 32-10. So shout out to him and
Cade
Cunningham. But when it comes to this offseason, if Tatum's not the one that's because one of them's getting traded.
Yeah.
It's
very easy because when you go back to the finals that they won, I don't think people remember they hit Tatum in the corner defensively. They put him on the worst player in the corner. Where was Jaylen Brown? Oh, that's right. Locking up Luka Doncic, the best, one of the best. Not locking up, but he was on the best.
He didn't lock him up,
but he made it very hard. He made life very difficult for Luka Doncic.
Well, we saw how that Mavs team moved through the Western Conference playoffs and how they dominated the young OKC that went on to win it in 2025.
Yes. So, one guy could go out and make life difficult while another guy has to be hidden in a corner
and take plays off while Brown was still giving to them offensively too.
Tatum is a tremendous player. Brandon will tell you that as well. Talented player, but he settles way too much for the outside shot. You're not Curry. When you're chucking up 12 to 13 threes and you're only making like 3 to 4 of them, stop. Get your ass in the post and put them where. We've been saying that for what? 2 years now on this podcast? We've been saying this for 2 years. Get in the post and put more work in, but he settles for the outside shot. Brown is willing to get into the nitty-gritty, get into the paint, hit the mid-range, shoot the three, do it all. Where Tatum's really more like, shoot my outside shot. I'm going to let it fly whether it's raining or not. And that's the difference between them two players. One is a two-way player. One is really just an offensive, streaky shooter that should not be that, but he has been allowed to do certain things, and no one's willing to tell him can't do that no more.
And Tatum's been put out that he's not necessarily very coachable.
Yes.
Either. And Brown, like you said, he's two-way. He gives you defensively. He gives you all the effort defensively while he's giving all his max effort offensively, as we saw in the finals 2 years ago when they won, when he got the finals MVP, and he gets zero love by the media, which is crazy which is
considering
crazy
when
to
he
me.
won it. Do you remember how the media like just kept the camera on Tatum and didn't want to put Brown on the TV? They were just like,
Which to me, if Brown being the solo superstar gets them there and they are wanting to move off a superstar, I think it has to be Tatum, and it shouldn't be a big ordeal. But I think if Tatum gets moved, I think his star that he is gets diminished. I think he almost becomes a Bradley. He's
But he
better.
almost
He's better
actually-
than. But he's better than Bradley Beal. But I think he becomes almost a Bradley Beal-esque type star, where like he might go to a lesser franchise and he'll get a little bit more shots and he'll still look good, but they
But they don't
won't
look
accomplish
But
anything.
then there's a flip side to this too. What if Tatum comes back earlier this season and the Celtics start to look horrible? What does that say about Tatum too?
well,
Granted, I get it. You're coming back from an Achilles and it takes some time. I get that, but like,
personally, I feel like that'd be tough for them not to look good with Tatum back in the rotation, slowly ramping up.
yes.
Because, like, I mean, he is a certified bucket.
But when you think about what this
offensively.
unit's doing defensively, you see the point. I think you see those totals switch a little bit
Well, there definitely be
because
like,
you'll attack Tatum. Like
I mean-
you're just gonna attack him. Why not? Like you're gonna go at him because he's
well,
not.
I think that's the most craziest thing out because, like, obviously him coming back, there'll be they'll get kind of stagnant and little stimmy there, but like they'll eventually get back into rolling.
But with the
But I
ball
think
movement,
what's
stay the
the
same.
craziest thing though is the ball gets
Because when
stuck
Tatum gets to the ball's sticking.
pre-injury, after injury. When Tatum gets the ball and it gets stagnant there, which I think again hurts the Celtics. But overall, but
You
like
have to live with it.
you
just have to
gotta
with
live
it.
or die by. But I think what's the craziest thing is like you already said, like they hide Tatum.
They do. They hide him.
And like in the playoffs, they hide him away. Which okay, so I'm hiding you away. Like
I'm just gonna bring you up, put you
kind of like the
up
Lakers. Lakers should hide Luka away in the playoffs to try to help to keep him
preserve
fresh.
Yes,
Because I need you offensively to go be a bucket, to go facilitate and to score.
absolutely.
I mean, the playoffs, that's not how that works, though.
Mhm.
Tatum was like, oh, you're going to hide me away, so you're going to go be a bucket, but I'm going to hump my shot up and hump the guy and shoot, and it'd be a bad three-point shot. Well, I'm not getting nowhere when Tatum has a great post game, a great mid-range game, but he doesn't
doesn't
use it enough. But the dude gets hidden away, so you think he's his offensive juggernaut, but he's not. Meanwhile, you have your Eastern Conference Finals MVP, and he's doing it on both ends and doing all of that.
Yeah.
So the Celtics, I think, are honestly being saved by this injury and being able to recoup more what they would via trading Tatum.
We'll
I
see.
think his trajectory of like his superstardom is going to fall off. Not that he's going to still not make like all-star teams.
Yep.
But he's going to fall off of like the media
That's fair.
spectrum.
Another franchise I want to move on to that is pretty much the center of the NBA trade deadline. Giannis Antetokounmpo, a.k.a. the Greek Freak. We've seen interviews where they've asked him, are you going to be a Milwaukee Buck? We're day-to-day. The interviews are not great. Giannis has been very vocal about how the team has looked, played, and there's even been a game where he literally didn't really shoot the ball or do anything. He just kind of showcased what the team looked like if I don't be that guy. And he came out and said, I'm not the guy that's going to demand the ball, which we know that was kind of like, it's Giannis, give me the goddamn ball. I'm going to go to work.
I mean,
To a degree.
Not even to a degree, because that game that they're talking about, he had like 11 shots after halftime, and he was like, I'm not going to demand the ball. Like, the guy should
The offense should be come down the ball and give me the motherfucking
like,
ball.
He's
Like, I'm Giannis.
He was more like, I should just be given the ball. I shouldn't be like, hey, ball. And I'm like, well, yeah, like Braun, Curry, Tatum, Brown, Bam.
Even Kate Cunningham now.
Kate Cunningham,
Yep.
not even now, like then Kate
Yeah.
Cunningham, the Knicks,
Jalen Brunson.
Jalen Brunson, all those guys know like ball.
Hell, even Victor
Give me-
Wembanyama. Give me the fucking ball.
Even Tyrese is like ball, not necessarily to score. For
SGA,
Tyrese, how-
Nikola Jokic, Luka. Like, come on now. Like, it's a no-brainer. This is a no-brainer.
like you give the best player the ball and like you get 11 shots after halftime. After 30 minutes, you get 11 shots. That's crazy. And
That's
it's Giannis.
Yeah.
I mean, a certified bucket.
Obviously, I believe he's being
settled
traded,
for
but
that
is it
too.
New York? Is that the only option? Like, what are the options?
I think
here?
it's going to be 3 to 4 team trade.
Ooh,
that involves
it's going to have to,
Giannis.
like you're saying, okay, so you're saying 4 teams potentially at maximum to get this trade done.
Yeah. I think
minimum 3.
I think it's the only one that makes sense. That's the only one that's been linked to him.
And the New York's already tired of Carl.
Yeah, well,
they're already tired of Cat.
Cat's already been
Mike Brown's already furious. Like
you a big. I mean the bigs aren't bigs like they were in the early 2000s or in the 90s.
No defense. He gives you nothing that you need.
Well, it's really crazy. I thought when you look back at the bigs in the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s, and even 2010s, they were bigs, and our bigs now they're like Slenderman looking motherfuckers.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
But that being said, though, they still protect the rim. I mean, look at Wembanyama. He still protects the rim, but Cat, he don't really protect the rim, so I'm not really surprised. But for the Knicks to get Giannis, Cat got to be on the move, but I think it's going to probably have to be 3-4 team trade that's going to get that.
It's going to have to move a lot of money, picks, and stuff like that to make everything collectively money wise
to be able to acquire what a Giannis is, which is weird considering we've seen a Trae Young get moved for
nothing. Luka Doncic get moved for nothing, but yet Bane got moved for 5 picks.
We saw goddamn Rudy go fuck a bear, bitch ass standing 7'2" Frenchman with 4 Defensive Player of the Year's awards they don't deserve. Get traded for I think 5 first-round fuck picks.
OG Anunoby got moved for massive picks.
With a shit ton, we see KD get moved for a shit ton of fuck picks, but
it's weird how some of these trades have gone. Luka and Trae Young combined 1 pick.
And considering they were swapped for each other, but I think Giannis will be traded. But right now they're kind of in a stalemate because the Bucks don't want to move him. Giannis isn't demanding it,
but he's day to day.
And when the media asks, "Are you going to be here for the rest of the season?" I'm day to day.
Yep.
So I think he wants out, and I think the Bucks know he wants out. It's just going to come down to him saying, "Move me."
Trade deadline is approaching. So, hot news is going to be coming up. We're getting right there.
He has to go first, though.
Yeah, he is the trade deadline. You're waiting on that. You're really waiting.
He'll be the domino to fall, and then everybody else kind of trickle.
Well, he will be the biggest, Giannis being moved, obviously, Cat will be in it, stuff like that. But he will be the biggest name move. And then everybody else after that's kind of just, not saying water under the bridge, but you're water under the bridge.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's Giannis. But could you see him landing anywhere else? Outside of New York,
maybe San Antonio with Wemby. That's something that's been linked. They've been there.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know. You really mess with that young core.
Yeah, that's tough. The way that they're playing and looking. Yeah, I don't know. To me, it's really hard to look around the NBA and think.
I think Miami is always sexy.
Yeah, Miami's interesting.
Miami needs
Tyler Hero and Bam.
Teams.
You can't give up both.
Well, no, but Hero would have to be moved
again. But you said, it'd have to be another team, or you have to.
Miami would need help facilitating that trade.
The Miami trade would probably be 4 teams. The Knicks and Milwaukee could be potential 2 to it would be 3.
It has to be at least 3.
At least 3. But when you think about anything other than that, it's going to be 4. Hell, we could even be looking at massive 5 to 8. We've seen 5-6 trades go down.
We've seen that. I don't think
it's
really
rare.
I don't think we get over 4 for Giannis. It's going to take 3 to 4 teams, I think, for this Giannis trade to get done for everybody to be happy on what they get in return. But I think it's either I think Miami or New York. I don't necessarily know. If it goes either, I don't think I can't. I don't.
Would you be shocked if Giannis is not traded at the deadline? Would it shock you?
I'd be shell shocked if Giannis isn't traded because they're not.
I think I'd be shocked.
They're not making the playoffs.
No, they're. It's horrifying.
I'd be shell shocked if Doc Rivers doesn't get fired at some point either.
In fact, he hasn't been fired yet. I think it's the crazy part.
The fact that he still gets head coaching job still baffles the fuck out of me too.
Hey, listen, he won a championship in 2008 with the Boston Celtics. Okay, show a little bit.
So did John Harbaugh. Hey, goes to the New York Giants.
Hey, there's a lot of Doc River coaches out here, but that really is the only stuff.
Where would you want to see him land? where would you want to see him land to fulfill like the rest of his 4 to 5 year prime that he probably has left?
Well,
obviously
if you're going to preserve that, he's got to stay in the East, and it's really it's cliche, but it really is the Knicks. It gives you the best chance. You land with Jalen Brunson, and he doesn't have to be ball down. Where you want? Cleveland with Donovan Mitchell, but how much of that young core would they have to give?
All you got to give up is
Evan Mobley,
and maybe you got to give up
Darius Garland potentially.
Yeah,
and maybe he's been injury prone this year,
and maybe some picks.
Just make Donovan Mitchell the point guard. He can play it. You see it all the time, so it's not hard for him to play
it.
And they got backup guards,
and you still have the big center,
Jared Allen. Perfect, and Giannis can play the power forward.
So you have the center, power forward.
But do they have enough spacing? Jared Allen doesn't shoot. Giannis is not the greatest.
Well, Jared Allen don't shoot, but
he's a defensive anchor like a motherfucker.
But Giannis is already used to that. But you already have plenty of shooters there still.
So you just tweak the lineup.
But if you move Evan Mobley, who is a bona fide star,
yes,
and you incorporate draft capital and a couple other teams, and move some mid-level guys around, you might not have to give up as much. I would love to see him in Cleveland. I think that where he would honestly flourish the most at with Donovan Mitchell, Jared Allen, and him.
Should Detroit take a stab at him to pair him with Cade and them guys? Are you not trying to mess with Detroit?
They're like the Spurs to me. Don't touch that young core.
Leave them alone.
Leave you alone. Because I would love to see what Detroit could actually really do.
What if Boston said, "Fuck it, we're going to put Tatum out now and go get Giannis and pair him with Jaylen Brown"? Put him. Would that be an underrated move? Milwaukee, you have to start over with Tatum.
Have to take Tatum, that would be nasty though too.
Like that. Tell me that wouldn't be nasty. Jaylen Brown, two-way. You got a guard and a forward.
If that's not a ring,
I don't know what
it has to be a ring. So that would be nasty. But
what about an underrated trade that would be weird because he's starting to get healthy? What about the Sixers? It would have to be Embiid included in that. But Tyrese Maxey, VJ Edgecombe with Giannis Antetokounmpo, Jared McCunnon,
So if you're the Bucks, you're getting Joel, some draft capital.
You'd have to be another team. There'd have to be another team.
Some other teams in there to take on. Paul George's contract got to go away from the 76ers.
Yeah, you go ahead and get off that as well. That's interesting as well because if if you get off Paul George and Embiid, you can recreate.
I think that's a franchise move, though. I don't think that's a Giannis move.
That's a franchise.
That's a franchise altering move. I think like the Celtics move is a Giannis move. I think the Cavs moves is a Giannis move because both those moves, I think personally, immediately make you the best team in either conference.
It's unfortunate because if Tyrese Maxey would hurt, I'd love the Pacers to go make that move too. Tyrese Maxey and Giannis, Tyrese Halliburton with the Pacers. If Tyrese Halliburton wasn't hurt, that would be a nasty combination as well.
If you're willing to, wait a year because you're going to be in the lottery, so you're going to have that as well. If you're looking if you're only willing to look in the East, then yes, I think the Pacers, that would be kind of nasty, but that's a small market.
But when you look at the Western Conference, could Minnesota make a stab at it? You'd have to give up Rudy Gobert. You'd pray to God that they take him. But maybe Julius Randle.
Honestly, if we're going to move over to the West,
let's move over to the West.
It's OKC. No, it's OKC.
Well, OKC has a draft capital to do it by themselves.
They have the players to do it by themselves.
The players, the draft capital.
Jay Will, some draft capital. That young guard that didn't play last year,
Wiggins. Well, I think that's playing now.
No, I think he's the foreign guy.
Oh, Nikola. He's his name Nikola.
Yeah, Nikola something or another. I would send Nikola Jokic, some kind of like that.
Yeah,
I would send it him. To me, if I'm the West and I'm OKC, dude, I'm doing. What do you want? I got 3 firsts this year.
Yeah.
That's the only.
That would secure the OKC championship for at least the next 3 years for Giannis.
For finals,
at least the next 3.
If I'm the Thunder, I have thinking about I'm the Thunder. My pulse is on this. What do you want? Because
I'm sitting there like that would be so.
What if it's just Chet?
That's a Dodgers move right there. That's like a Dodgers move in the NBA, dog. Like damn.
If you're in Milwaukee and
you're trying to really
you're
rebuild.
mid-level. I mean, let's say Milwaukee's probably like a mid-level big market, and they're like, look, I'll give you Jay Well and Chet and a first-round pick for Giannis.
Yeah,
you
got Jay Well and Chet to build around.
And a first-round pick. And you have Bobby Portis.
And if you're OKC, you could just throw
picks at them
that necessarily don't even have to be first-round picks. You have so many second-round picks.
But you still have Miles Turner that's there in Milwaukee. I don't know. If OKC really wants to tell the league to get fucked.
Yeah.
Because when you look at
everybody else in the West, Golden State can't make a move for him.
Outside of OKC,
maybe the Timberwolves, but outside of that,
that's what I was going to say. Outside of OKC, I would say the Timberwolves.
Him and Ant together would be nasty as a motherfucker.
You move
Randall, Gobert, potentially get rid of both of them.
Oh God, damn! I would hope they would get rid of Rudy Gobert.
You have to get rid of Rudy. I think he'd be in the way for Giannis. Giannis would get. He'd smack that Frenchman like a motherfucker. I'm sorry. The French team don't even want him on the goddamn team. They bury him on the bench.
I think the Bucks would have to take on Randall, but that's like the only other one I would.
When I look like you're not giving it the Pelicans, no. Kings, no. Jazz, hell no. Mavericks, unfortunately, no. Memphis.
Also, I'm rooting for OKC. That's my
that's
my trade destination.
Oh damn! That's what I'm like sitting here. I'm like, oh dude, you're getting my blood pressure. I'm like, if they got Giannis, oh fuck me, dude. Like just. That's
kind of my rooting destination.
Congratulations, New York! You're getting to the finals to get your ass whipped by OKC. Poor Carl Anthony Towns about to get belt to ass by Giannis. That'd be nasty. But that's the NBA stuff going on. Trade deadline's coming up. All-Star games coming up. We'll talk about that format probably a little bit later. Not really going to get into that too much. But let us know where you would like to see Giannis end up or where you think is going to happen. We'd be very curious to see what you guys got to say. Reference to what I just mentioned about the Dodgers, we got to talk about the MLB here. The Dodgers are out here playing chess while everybody else is playing. I don't even know if checkers are right. The Dodgers are playing chess while everybody else is playing tic-tac-toe. The CBA for baseball ends this December. Am I correct? December, something like that? Somewhere
after the 2026 season.
So, and a lot of teams, organizations are complaining about what the Dodgers are doing because of the Ohtani contract. Because they got Kyle Tucker now and what he's been able to do with his contract. Go ahead, Brandon. Give the people what they did.
Well, considering they will be paying Ohtani and Kyle Tucker $3 million on their salary cap.
Ohtani's a back-to-back MVP.
Ohtani's contract is deferred into the long future years, while Kyle Tucker money is signing bonus.
Signing bonuses.
So it's money up front that he gets that doesn't actually affect. It affects baseball is so weird because they don't have a salary cap, but it affects the total money that you're paying out, and you pay out a certain amount of money. Once you hit a certain amount, you have to pay so much in a luxury tax like you do in the NBA. It's distributed out to the rest of the teams that don't go over it.
Yes,
but the Dodgers have said we really don't care how much money we have to pay out. And it was a really cool fun fact that I found. So Kyle Tucker, he signed a 4-year deal.
Yes, he did.
He signed a 4-year deal that was $240 million.
Yep.
With a player option after the 3rd year.
Yep.
Which is cool, great, and dandy. That's other teams that were in on him. They offered him about around the same amount of money, but it was a little bit longer years.
Yep.
And he was like, nah, I'm good. And honestly, if I'm a player that's getting offered, I have a chance to go play for a loaded team that's going to make me, that I'm already a great player, that's going to make hitting easier.
Yeah, I'm going to
because I'm surrounded by better hitters. Why not? Because you can't when it gets into the playoff time, you can't necessarily position certain pitchers against me, lefties, righties. You can't walk this guy to try to get to me because like.
But we talked about
we're loaded. But the thing is, the Dodgers can do this because Dubai and
they have money that stretches
India
globally.
Are actually there's people in Dubai that gave money to the owners.
Yep.
They didn't give the money, but
the
people that bought the Dodgers, they invested money into there that outright bought the Dodgers.
Yep.
And so when you have this influx of just endless cash, you don't really care how much you're spending to win chips.
It's chump change. But, people are bitching a salary cap. And we were discussing this. Does the salary cap really fix when you're the Dodgers, Yankees, and the Mets? Does that really matter when you're that big of a market and you don't really care about what you're spending?
It's the only way that matters is so their contract for the MLB Players Union and the owners, it ends after this season. And there's been talks about putting a salary cap in, and the Players Union do not want that because it limits how much money you can make.
Yeah.
And the only way that actually works in baseball is if you have a hard cap. There's no like in basketball, well, there's this threshold and this threshold. Yeah. No, you have to have a hard cap, and which then limits how much money you can actually make as a player. And according to the big media world, the MLB Players Union is the strongest union
in sports
in the world.
Yeah, like
they don't play no games. Like not even in sports, even in the workforce.
Yeah, they don't.
It's the strongest union.
They
will hold out no matter what, and so I don't think we'll ever see any strong type of salary cap in baseball.
We also talked about this too, Brandon. Everyone's so mad about the Dodgers. I think everybody should be mad at the Diamondbacks. They caused this. They did this. They embarrassed the Dodgers, and the Dodgers looked at themselves and said, "Never again." The rest has been history since then. So, like, if you really got a problem, look at the Diamondbacks and what they did to the Dodgers a few years back. Because the Dodgers, like, we ain't doing that shit again, and like.
You're not wrong. It really was. I think they swept them about 2 years ago.
And the Dodgers like, never again. You're not getting us again. So it's like, it's going to be tough to put a cap because when you look at the money especially the money that's thrown around in baseball is ridiculous. I mean, it's fucking, you got 15-year deals being thrown out. Like, that's unheard of in sports.
I think
only in baseball you see that shit. So,
baseball and soccer, and the reason why you saw it in soccer is now you're seeing the same kind of play, the same kind of ownership that we see overseas in soccer in the bigger leagues, and is starting to creep into now baseball, and you're starting to see these bigger franchises, bigger markets that are being bought and sold are now being owned by these overseas ownership. That have money like this, and you can do that in baseball. You can't do that in basketball. You can't do this. No. You can't do this in football. So that's why we're not seeing when we see in NFL teams sold. You're not seeing like billions of dollars like we see when we see the MLB team sold.
Yeah, but speaking of ending on that, I agree with Brent. I don't think we're going to see a salary cap. Players don't want it. If players don't want it, it's not going to happen.
Do you think it'll be a holdout? You think it'll be a lockout?
Well, the media seems to be. I don't think so.
I think there's going to be a lockout. There's more smaller market baseball teams than there is larger markets. And I think they're going to hold it. I think they're going to lock it out.
But I guess it's still not going to matter because at the end of the day, the Dodgers, the Yankees, and the Mets are still going to spend how they are now. They don't care about going over.
No, I 100% agree that nothing will change, but I still think there will be a lockout in a shortened season.
Instead of like a salary cap, do you think they're going to try to instill something else? I don't know what you could instill. That's not a salary cap that's going to change anything.
I really don't know because the Dodgers. They're flush with cash. People that own the Dodgers, they're just flush with cash. Money. They don't
endless money, especially when you talk about Dubai.
They don't really care, and they're not when the season ends, they're not negative.
No.
They're still making.
They've already
profit.
they made the money back for Ohtani hella quick.
They're still making profit. So there will be a lockout. There will be a shortened season.
Yep. But nothing will change.
There won't be a salary cap.
Yep.
There might be a bigger negative to this.
Yeah.
But there won't be a salary cap.
That's fair. But moving off of baseball, I want to show a little bit of love to the soccer world, to the women's sports world of soccer. Tiffany Rodman, am I saying her name right?
Yes.
Tiffany Rodman just made history becoming the world's most highest paid soccer player with an annual salary of $1 million. Signed a 3-year deal with the Washington. I don't know the full name, but I know it's in Washington. But shout out to her. That's huge for women's sports across the world, in the U.S., everywhere. She got it done, which was weird, too, because initially her first deal that the Washington tried to give her was blocked by the commissioner. That sparked outrage. And then now they were able to get it done. So shout out to Tiffany Rodman, Dennis Rodman's daughter. She made history and well-deserved in women's sports, because now this just changes women's sports even more going forward. So shout out to her and the soccer world. Soccer
on the women's shout out to women's soccer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Considering in America here, they are the better world team.
Yes,
is the women's team.
Yes,
but on the women's sports, do you think we have a holdout in the WNBA?
Yeah, it's looking like we're gonna have a holdout in the WNBA. Yeah. Unfortunately, it's looking like we're gonna have a holdout. Nothing's really changed. We thought we were close, it looked like, and then things pushed back. But considering I think they messed up not taking the one deal with the jumping the annual salary up to $1 million, that was a humongous increase. I think they missed out on that. I think they're trying to bite off more than they could chew right now. I think they should have took that and then did a 3-year, 4-year deal, and then in that due time, I think they would have been able to get more, because you'd have Caitlin would be in her prime. You would have Juju Watkins already in the league. Paige Beckers will be getting better. Haley Vinland. You just think about where the league will be popularity-wise. But it's not those players that are really holding up. You got, again, Angel Reese out here talking we going to hold out, we deserve to be being paid like the men. No. And I'm a big advocate for women's sports. Brandon would even tell you he's a big advocate, but you have to understand that 2 different games.
I just kind of feel like
the
WNBA is.
You're not there yet. You're approaching, but you're not.
Well, I think there will be a lockout, but I think they're jumping the gun on trying. I think they're overreaching.
Yes, overreaching.
What they are, because considering you haven't turned a profit
50 years.
Ever.
The NBA's been covering your expenses,
keeping y'all afloat.
But I do think they need a new commissioner. I've been saying that.
Well, that's fine and dandy, but I just.
But you also need your players to put on for you as well.
Again, that's still great, but where they're in negotiations, and I feel like the WNBA Players Union is overreaching on the potential what they can be, while I feel like the owners are well, can we start seeing some actual profit back? And then once you actually start turning the profit, which is really instead of having these usually 7 to 10 year deals, cut that to 5, yeah. And when it's there, then play that hardball when you said you have these big names that we are coming into the league that are 1, 2, 3 about 1, 2 years in, will be year 5, and then you have them as your anchor, be look, this is what we're going to get, and you go play that hardball and you go and get it.
Absolutely. Well, we'll keep you up to date with that one and see where it goes, but I think we're heading to a lockout. I don't see, unless something drastically changes. But shout out to Tiffany Rodman. We're happy for you, happy for the women's soccer as a whole. That's big. Moving on to college football, the meat and potatoes. We're getting into the football talk now. We had the national championship game between the Miami Hurricanes and the Indiana Hoosiers. And the viewership for that game was 30.1 million, I believe the views were, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, I have that number
Brandon's going to get that number pulled up because last year...
30.1 million viewers.
That's 8 million more viewers than last year's national championship game. That was 22 million views. So it got more viewers. For anybody out there that was saying, oh, no, you should have put in Notre Dame, that was a lie. Miami made it all the way to the national championship game. made it a very competitive game, more competitive than we thought it was going to be. We thought Indiana was going to riot this game. They did not. First half was garbage. Second half was a banger.
Really, the fourth quarter.
Really, the fourth quarter. Listen, Mendoza, that run right there, he put the team. That was nothing's going to stop me from getting into the end zone. Like, I am going to, and he did. He put on his tape and he got it.
That run, it was a little bit before our time, but we've seen the highlights of it. Was it not a John Elway type-esque run in the Super Bowl when he ran and dove for that first down? He helicoptered.
What almost made me, like, what I thought about was the Mahomes run against Tennessee where he just refused to go down and got that touchdown.
Well, I mean, there is
that was like a
but when I saw
Cam
that,
Newton
I thought
of
of
not going down, or
I
Josh Allen.
I thought of John Elway when he dove for
that's a fair comparison as well,
and did the helicopter.
And that right there was to me, like, that was what Indiana needed, and they got it done. Listen, Carson Beck did throw the game-sealing interception, but what people need to understand, if he had more zip on that ball, more airtime, we could be having a different discussion because his receiver was open, that DB was late, corner was beat, but that ball was just slightly underthrown about 5.5 yards.
Yeah.
But it was a great game. Shout out to Indiana. They had the perfect season, Brandon. The perfect season. Like a perfect season. 16-0. First team to ever do that. Brandon also found out the last team that went 16-0 in football was Yale.
Yeah.
Back in the
50s,
that was wild. I didn't know they played that many games back then.
I didn't know.
That was crazy.
I did not know they played that many games back in like the
the dinosaur times. Like,
I didn't know they played that many football games back then in the day, but Yale was the only other football program to have a 16-0 team. A very last fun fact about that is the last undefeated college basketball team was the Indiana Hoosiers that went 32-0 from 1975 to 1976.
So that's pretty incredible. Shout out to Indiana. They had a historical season. When you run down the accolades of everything that they won and achieved, I mean, it was one for the record books. It really was. Like, where do you rank this Indiana Hoosiers team as a whole when you think about greatest football college teams? Like, does this crack the top 10, top 5?
It has to be an easy top 10 crack. I would say, like, overall, it has to be like a top. It has to almost be like at least a top 5 team overall to be 16-0.
Yeah,
we haven't seen that to win 16 games like that and to go through the teams they had to go through to.
Considering they made some schools look like G5 schools.
Considering Indiana was the least winningest program in NCAA history, to make this run in about 3 years and a turnaround in about 3 to 4 years.
Head coach, all he does is win. He does is win.
You look him up. That's all it says.
Google me. That's
what it Google me. All I do is win, and that's all he does is win.
Speaking of college football, Brandon, we got to get into a little bit more depth talk here that I know you don't want to get into because you don't understand it. We don't understand it. I agree with you. But a lot of people are upset that the College Football Committee came out and announced that we are staying at 12 teams. People are upset that they did not increase it to 16, 20, or 24 teams. Why the hell do we need to increase the college football? And why are people upset? The numbers are not showing, to me personally, that we need to increase. Brandon's like, can we go back down to like maybe 10? Can we go to drop it down to maybe we don't need 12? But why do we need to increase?
One, I think 6 would have been phenomenal. I think 10 is showing to be pretty substantial viewership-wise because the first round is
abysmal, especially
mundane at best because nobody really tunes in for the G5 games.
Yep.
They just don't. But we're also seeing the more playoff games we have, the lackluster numbers are slowly over year after year starting to kind of tune in that we're getting less and less viewership as years have gone on with more college football playoffs.
Yep.
Because it is so watered down with lesser teams. And I don't know why people want it more. I don't understand it. Yeah, I personally think 12 teams is the max, and I will stand here.
Yeah, I stand with you.
G5 schools need to be removed completely unless like they completely like without a shadow of a doubt just astonish everybody like, oh, this is a powerhouse that needs to be in it.
Yep.
Outside of like that shadow of a doubt, they don't need to be, because otherwise you just get cakewalked and you just go home with your $3 million out of the first round.
Yeah,
And that's a joke all in itself.
You got ESPN, First Take. They're up in an uproar about this. Stephen A. Smith's been out here saying he's disgusted and upset. I don't see how anyone could ever think we need to add more.
Just because it makes more money for those programs.
To me, college football,
Fox,
you're not
NBC, CBS, and ESPN, they make more money by having more games to show because they get the viewership, so they're just making more money.
I almost feel like college football thinks they can compete with the NFL. That's what it feels like to me. And like, you can't.
I mean, they can't. Nobody can. Nobody
like,
in America can compete
you
with
can't.
the NFL.
Like,
and it's a joke to think they should expand it. But I do have to say though, before we move off of them and move on to more stuff, can't say that putting Miami in over Notre Dame was wrong.
No,
that was clearly the correct decision because, well, they made it to the finals.
Yeah.
And
they fell just short.
You don't know what Notre Dame could have done, but that choice was a good decision. I mean, they made the run.
You could have made, if Miami got bounced in round one, okay, you could have made this in. But they did not. They made it all the way to the Natty.
Lost by 6.
Lost by 6 in a game where we thought they were going to get routed.
Which really they lost. They lost by a block punt touchdown,
pretty much.
Which was the difference in the whole game was the block punt touchdown that Indiana got. But
shout out to college football. All in all, shout out to Indiana. They are the national championship champions. Had a great year. Mendoza pretty much swept every award you could think of. Head coach, Google him. All he is a winner. And we move on to next.
And he loves Chipotle.
And so, but it was a great college football season. Ready for next year's college football season. Transfer portal's closed with still
there's 1,200 players still in it.
But it's closed, but they were in the portal, so they still have a chance to sign wherever they want to sign.
Which is weird.
Wild, a little weird, but I digress. Moving on to the NFL, we're going to get right into this, and we're going to start with the news that really shook up the world. We're going to start with the Buffalo Bills in that horrendous press conference that took place between the GM and the owner, throwing the coaching staff under the bus, throwing Keon Coleman under the bus, and it was a bad look 360 degrees around.
Only thing I really got to say about that is I really didn't know that Buffalo Bill fans were all that upset about Keon Coleman. You miss. You miss on draft picks. It happens. And
I didn't know that would need to be the focal point.
I didn't know that was the one draft pick out of the 6-7 years that Josh Allen has been there. That was the focal point on the whole issue was that one draft pick, not the free agents you have overpaid, the one draft pick, and then the owner to come out and say, well, Brandon Beane didn't want him. The staff pushed for him, and then a clip literally the next day comes out. Then Brandon Beane's like, we're taking him. Unless
it was a weird flex that you fire Sean McDermott, which again, we understand the firing.
That's not a weird flex. She should have been fired.
No, that's not a weird flex. But the fact that you promoted the GM, that was the weird flex.
To president and GM. He's doing both roles.
That was the weird flex. That was the very weird flex.
Well, the biggest thing is that Sean McDermott got fired because he told the GM and the owner that he doesn't think that we have the talent to make it to the Super Bowl, and then you get bounced in the divisional round, and then he's fired, which was kind of the weird part, and then the GM then gets promoted, which I think everybody almost could agree that the Bills didn't have the offensive talent to make it to the Super Bowl. Josh Allen, I'm not disagreeing that the Bills should be facing the Patriots right now in the AFC Championship game because they should be. Yeah. Because they do have they do have Josh Allen, they do have that defense, they have done everything they have done in the postseason.
Yeah.
That said, though, you don't have that wide receiver.
No, you just
that dude.
It's just James Cook and Josh Allen. That's it.
But all that overall said, you have so much pretending and so much weak QBs and weak coaching staffs and weak organizations that were in the postseason that the Bills should be fighting for the chance right now this weekend to make it to the Super Bowl.
Yeah. So
that's in my mind, and I think your mind why McDermott is fired.
Yeah, and again, he's been on that fringe last couple seasons. Like if you want to keep it a buck, like we thought probably should have been let go
about 2 years ago.
2 years ago, we'll go with that.
So really, in our mind, he was on by time.
But it was unfortunate he didn't get it done. But Bills staying on the Bills. We're just going to stay on the Bills. They are bringing in today. Currently, as you'll see this later on, but they brought in Phillip Rivers for the head coaching job, and that baffles me in the fact of like, if I'm Josh Allen and you hire hypothetically Phillip Rivers, what are you going to offer me that you couldn't even offer yourself back when you were playing to get over the hump? That you're going to offer me to help me get over the hump. And Phillip Rivers has never coached anything in the NFL. He's actually just a high school coach and off the couch, backup quarterback. When you need somebody. But, like, what are we doing? What are we doing, Brandon? What are we doing?
I think it's a shot to the face. It should
to
be.
A lot of people in the NFL.
To the face to every
coordinator,
staff member ever that's putting in time, that's never got the opportunity, never gotten the call, or has gotten the call for the interviews and has been turned away for this great quarterback that has never spent time in the NFL or even the collegiate level coaching to get to sniff
a head coaching candidates for Josh Allen at the Buffalo Bills, probably the best coaching job available.
That's a humongous shot, and that's a humongous problem. Is I compared it to JJ Redick getting the job with the Lakers, that he didn't coach shit.
Yeah, he didn't have no.
He didn't coach even AAU ball.
No.
And all of a sudden, he's a coach of Lakers, which they're obviously. that has been a decent hire the past 2 years, looking pretty solid.
It's been decent.
Second year in has been pretty solid. So could be wrong, could be like over exaggerating this if they do hire Phillip Rivers, and it could plan out good. But you have now the Chiefs OC Eric Bieniemy, who's been up for a bunch of interviews and has been turned away, but now we have Phillip Rivers, who's never coached a damn thing in his life, and now you're being. If I'm
Josh Allen, he's said you did say that Josh Allen said on every interview.
He is,
which I would, after that abysmal that my owner and GM did. I need to be in on what the fuck we're doing here because I need to be a part of this process, which rightfully so to a degree, but. Buffalo's got a lot of things they need to sort out. It is the best available job currently left in the NFL, but I think that interview, I wouldn't say diminish anybody because it's Josh Allen. That's going to overshadow that disaster mess because I'm going to have Josh Allen. But if they hire Phillip Rivers, if I'm Josh Allen, I may as well just go ahead and be like, can you send me to Minnesota? Can you send me somewhere else? I don't want to be here. This is a disaster. This is not going to work out well. So.
Look, it's almost as bad as a Colts bringing in Jeff Saturday.
Yeah, that's pretty up there. But head coaches that are now filled up. The Atlanta Hawks, not the Atlanta Hawks. Sorry, my apologies. The Atlanta Falcons hired Kevin Stefanski. They are now the Atlanta Browns because he brought the OC with him from the Browns. So I feel bad for Atlanta fans because ouch. The Baltimore Ravens hired their head coach. What was his name?
David Hughes?
He was
he's from the Chargers. They hired
Jesse Miniter.
Oh, okay.
He coached there before as a defensive coordinator from 2017 to 2020, but he got a 5-year contract. He is a defensive-minded head coach. What is your thoughts on that hiring right there for Baltimore with Lamar Jackson?
It has to be good hiring. I'm not going to challenge or second guess the Ravens with their 4th overall head coach ever in their franchise history.
That's fair.
I'm just not going to do it.
The Miami Dolphins hired Jeff Hefty or whatever his name is from the Miami Dolphins. That one, from the Green Bay Packers DC. That one caught me way off guard.
So
I didn't even know who that guy was or that he was even up for a job.
I didn't even know.
But the Dolphins are doing Dolphin things. That's really weird that they brought in Troy Aikman to help find the next head coach, and that's who you found.
I honestly didn't even know the Dolphins hired a head coach until I saw it show up on SportsCenter that they did, and I guess you got to start somewhere. And
The New York Giants, they hired John Harbaugh. They got that done. But Harbaugh does not report to the GM. He reports to the owner. That's going to cause a little bit of friction. It's going to cause some friction. That was the holdup on getting the deal done and make it official, but it is official. But Harbaugh, you don't have to report to the GM.
He also brought his OC from the Ravens.
He did. So,
which I think will fit quite well with Jackson Dart.
Yep. And then the Tennessee Titans threw a curveball because we thought they were going to hire Matt Nagy as their next head coach. And they said, scratch that. We're going to hire Robert Saleh, the defensive coordinator for the San Francisco 49ers. He's getting another opportunity as a head coaching for the Tennessee Titans. And so what do you make of that hire there? That was a little...
I didn't like the hire. I thought they should have went offensive-minded.
With Cam Ward. Yep, I agree with you.
Cam Ward out. What was the point of firing Mike Vrabel then?
You're not wrong.
So I didn't really like that hire. If I'm a Titans fan, I'm pissed.
Yeah. Head coaching jobs that are still available. Arizona Cardinals. Still got to find a head coach. They got the whole Kyler Murray situation. What do we do? Baltimore Ravens. Oh, sorry, not Baltimore. Buffalo Bills. Got to figure out their head coach. Where they're going to go with that, Josh Allen. Cleveland Browns. Still got to figure that out. The Raiders. Still got to figure that out. And the Pittsburgh Steelers still got to figure theirs out. So it's going to be interesting to see where these guys go.
So I don't think the biggest thing out of all that is the Ravens might have filled the position, but there's hellacious rumors that Lamar could be on the move.
Yeah, there is potential that the Raiders and the Baltimore Ravens are in discussion of a trade that would land Lamar Jackson with the Las Vegas Raiders, which would be wild.
It'd be a tremendous amount of draft capital.
He would.
I mean, it has to be. That's all it would
have
to be.
On a side note, when it comes to coaching in the NFL, the Jets can't get anybody to come into, for a defensive coordinator or an OC. Nobody wants to take the interview, which is, I guess, but it's okay. And then the Eagles. I'm confused on the OC job because, if you take the OC job, they're giving you full,
Well, their top 3 candidates, they were offering them full range to make up their own scheme, to bring in their own scheming, to have full control of the offense.
The fuck do you have Nick Sirianni for?
But now it's obviously you're going to have to hire somebody, but maybe they're not going to have that kind of luxury. But you're not wrong. Nick Sirianni was an OC.
See, so it's what is the point of having you if I'm going to give potentially I was going to give these 3 guys full range and the head coach has no say. I can do what I want. So weird flex.
I'm just saying my prediction for the
It's coming true. It's coming true.
I feel like we're kind of on that path.
So we're on that path. Moving on to the NFL awards in the NFL that we need to discuss that's got Brandon and I a little fired up here. Instead of just giving us the top 3, the NFL said, you know what? We're going to do it this year. We're going to give you the top 5. And it's been a little bit interesting about that. So we're going to start with the Offensive Rookie of the Year. We got Jackson Dart, Imuka, Henderson, McCollin, and Soth. Those are your Offensive Rookie of the Years. I think it's going to be Tyler from the Saints, quarterback. Probably will get that award.
I think Tyler Saw from the Saints. I think he's the most deserving of that award.
Absolutely. Offensive Player of the Year. This is where Brandon and I have some problems. We got Jackson Smith-Njigba. Rock that. Bijan Robinson. Okay. Puka Nacua. Okay. Christian McCaffrey. Then Drake May is in here.
Yeah,
and I have a little bit of problem with that.
I really don't understand. So if we run through these awards, he's already kind of said, guys, I don't know why we're going 5 deep.
Why are we 5 deep?
Why we got to award 5 deep when like the 5 deep, the 4 and 5th pick in this get like the 3rd and 4th picks. Like it's weird, and like Drake May is a quarterback, and like he's not put up great statistical numbers to be in this.
I would have gone
category.
Matthew Stafford. Like if
you're gonna put him, like, so, you have to be. So Matthew Stafford should be in there, and Drake May and Matthew Stafford. Little fast forward are both in the
MVP
conversation. If you didn't know that already.
And then Defensive Player of the Year: Will Anderson Jr., Nick Petito, Myles Garrett, Aiden Hutchinson, and Micah Parsons made the list.
I think this one is the nail biter to me, because I think Offensive Player of the Year will end up going to other. I think we'll go with CMC.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, I won't be mad at if it goes to Jackson Smith and Jigba, but I think the
Defensive Player
of the Year award
should
Myles Garrett, but Anderson Jr.
Will Anderson Jr. too had a phenomenal
great year, and they have the wins to go with it.
And then Comeback Player of the Year was wild to me. Stephon Diggs. What?
I didn't.
Aiden Hutchinson. I can understand that. Gruesome knee injury. A little bit of a down year. Trevor Lawrence.
I didn't know you got
Comeback Player of the Year? That's a weird flex. Why? Because you were trash and this was the first year you had a great year? Christian McCaffrey. That makes the most sense. And then Dak Prescott. Comeback Player of the Year award this year. Trash. Like...
I didn't know Dak was hurt like that.
And then Coach of the Year, we got Liam.
Who do you have for comeback player of the year?
Christian McCaffrey, without question.
Yeah,
without question.
I think CMC.
To me, that's a walk in the park right there. That's not even a question, right? The other 4 guys. I mean, Aiden Hutchinson has a chance, but he didn't play all that well. It wasn't.
I think he was as.
He got overpaid too. No disrespect, but he did. And then Coach of the Year award. We got some great names on here. We got Mike Vrabel. We can rock with that. Kyle Shanahan. We rock with that one. Mike McDonald. We rock with that one. Ben Johnson turned the Bears around. And then Liam Cohen, what he did with the Jags. But to me, it's got to be – to me, the top 3 is Mike McDonald, Kyle Shanahan, and Mike Vrabel. Like, those are the 3, but, like, Mike's 1, Shanahan 2, and then Vrabel 3, in my personal opinion. So
I think it's Mike Mayo gets it, and the 49ers are actually now investigating if this power plant
has a lot to do with the injuries.
Do anything kind of with that.
Yeah. And then the MVP award, this is a weird MVP finalist for me. We got Josh Allen. I don't know why he's there.
I mean,
I get why he's there, but like...
Well, if you're going 5 people, he has to be there because, like, who the fuck else they got outside of James Cook?
Yeah, that's fair. And then you got Trevor Lawrence in this. I didn't even know he was in the MVP conversation. I have a lot of questions on that one. Yeah. Drake May, okay. Christian McCaffrey and Matthew Stafford, okay. To me, it's still, like, again, Matthew Stafford probably get it, but again, Christian McCaffrey has a very solid case for the MVP as well. He carried that San Francisco 49ers. There's a potential that Christian McCaffrey could win 3 awards, potentially. But how do you feel about the MVP? Like,
I already feel that CMC should have an MVP.
Yes.
But I think Matthew Stafford should almost be unanimous MVP. He's had the best statistical season this year out of all the players that are in it. And I think he's most deserving of it. And I got him. It's either him or CMC to me.
That's fair.
It has to be one. They should be 1 and 2.
That's fair.
If it's not 1 and 2, I'm gonna have a lot of questions, and I need the voters exposed.
Yeah, you need that. But moving up to the game, the divisional round was between the Texans and the Patriots. That game was a turnover machine. C.J. Stroud threw 4 interceptions in the first half, multiple fumbles. The Texans defense did everything they could to try to give the offense chances. And listen, Patriots fans may not want to hear this, but if the Texans had an offense, you'd probably lose the game.
No, if you had any other quarterback in the NFL, you could have probably. So you have goddamn Shador, and you probably win that goddamn game.
It was not a great.
You could have a rookie. You could probably take any rookie quarterback this year, and the Texans probably win that game.
It was very. That defense did
CJ
everything they
Stroud
could.
was a big dookie,
He could have
big
spiked
ass.
the ball every time he had the ball, and he would have had a better passer rating than what he had finishing that game.
He had a 29
9.
QBR. If
Yeah.
you spike it every down as a quarterback, you end up with like a 38, 39.
What was the viewership from that game, Brandon? I believe you had, was it 38 million views? I believe it was.
Shit, I do have that somewhere.
I think it's in our group chat.
So the Patriots game with the Texans, a 38 million view, which is the most watched ESPN
Woo!
event ever. So
That's sad.
that's good for, I guess,
ESPN, but that's
ESPN.
sad. That game was very, very turnovers. Granted, bad water. Patriots got the game done. They're moving on to the AFC Championship game. Kudos. But they were 2 of 11 on third down. Granted, the weather was not great, but still no excuses.
Overall, though, Drake May has played like ass in his first 2 playoff games. He's not played great. He's not played up to the standard that he has looked during the regular season.
Yes.
But he's done enough, which is what you expect a quarterback to do, is to do enough, especially as a young guy that he is. But like I said, though, like they had honestly any rookie at all, they beat the Texans would have beaten the Patriots because CJ Stroud has not looked great.
No.
But a little fun fact on CJ Stroud is that his passer rating in 2023 was 109. 2024 was 92. In 2025, guys, which was this last year, was 51.8.
Not great.
That's
a lot of turnovers. A lot of fumbles. It was not great for him. And Troy Aikman was not, I think it was Troy Aikman that said it was not wrong. He's basically been chasing his rookie success that he had his first year in the league, and he's not been able to duplicate it. He has not progressed the way I thought we all thought he was going to progress.
Well, this 2025 postseason, he had I'll say 52% completion percentage, 462 yards, 2 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 5 fumbles, lost only 2 though, with a 51.8 QBR rating, which is not good, which is horrible, and that's why I have issues of anointing anybody, even Jalen Daniels last year, that great he was his rookie year, of noting any quarterback a
top 5,
top 10 QB, because sure, you might have came out and looked great, but like,
you got to do it again.
You have to. The film's out.
Yeah, film's
and
out.
I need you.
Texans have
sophomore year is always rough, and then you're supposed to come back and start looking better.
In your third year.
And his third year, he looked worse.
Texans have a big decision to make: $26 million player option to pick up on. Do
you pick it up? I don't.
Probably not, but I don't know where they go at QB. That defense, I mean, that's just unfortunate. That defense.
I'd rather keep paying the defense and bringing talent into the defense and go somewhere else.
It's almost sad that David Mills played a lot better this year in the game that he played than CJ Stroud. He did. The offense looked better. Granted, I know there was some, Nico didn't play in the game. Mixon was out the whole year for that weird foot injury that we still don't really know anything about. But Texas got to figure out what they're going to do at the quarterback position with CJ Stroud and that player option. Moving on to the the Buffalo Bills and the Broncos game. Listen, Josh Allen played probably his worst playoff game he's ever played in his playoff career, unfortunately. But they were tearing up that defense, him and James Cook. They were moving the ball. The Broncos struggled. I don't really know how to really pick up with this game. The officiating at the end was horrifying. But Josh Allen, I would say this: Buffalo shot themselves in the foot, but they got shot in the leg.
I think I'd rather shoot myself in the foot than the leg, personally.
Well, that's fair.
But overall, the Bills didn't deserve to win the game. The Bills they did everything to lose the game, and so I had an opportunity to win the game.
Yeah.
And on the final drive, I don't know how that wasn't PI in the end zone on the Broncos defender. And I'm saying right now that it was a catch.
Yeah, no,
it was a catch. Brendan Cooks caught the ball, And then we saw the same play in the Rams game with Devontae Adams when they rolled it a catch.
Yeah.
It was, but it's not. And like I said, I felt bad because I thought it was a catch. A lot of people feel like it was a catch, but you legitimately did everything you could to lose the game. You saw an opportunity. And the Broncos.
Bo Nix broke his foot, though.
But the Broncos did what they did all year long, and they took advantage of teams that fucked around.
And they won.
And they took care of it. But like you said, Bo Nix, broke
his foot. And
his ankle.
He broke his ankle.
We're
not going to speak on it too much, but he broke it at some point. During the game, after the game, post-game, we don't really know. But it's gone. He's out. Jarrett Stidham will be the starting quarterback in the AFC Championship game against the New England Patriots, which we believe the Patriots will rout the Denver Broncos. At least they should. But moving on to the NFC side, you had the Seattle Seahawks versus the 49ers, and it was belt to ass.
Oh, yeah.
It was belt to ass.
From
the start. From the start.
Yeah, from the kickoff.
And we're going to leave it at that. Shout out to the Niners. They made it all the way to the divisional game with all the injuries.
Move your facility.
Yeah, move your facility. Get away from that power
play.
Well,
before we went completely off of them, you had a very interesting thing that you brought up.
I did.
Kyle Shanahan.
Is his time running thin? He's been there 9 years. 9 years. Multiple NFC Championship games. Two Super Bowls.
Two different
quarterbacks. And hasn't been able to get it done. And I think Shanahan's a great coach. He's been able to prove that he can win with anybody at the quarterback position. He's proven that. And San Francisco. Outside of one quarterback, which we'll let that one slide. But I brought it up. Is his time running thin? And Brandon, I think it's something to talk about. Brandon says no. So, let us know what you guys think. Is his time running thin? He's been there 9 years, multiple NFC Championship games, 2 Super Bowl appearances, 2 blown Super Bowl leads. And, so it's been unfortunate for them. But it's also been a lot of injuries. So move away from the power plant because clearly it's causing some problems. And then there was the Rams Bears game, which shout out to the Bears. They had a hell of a season. Shout out to the Pope as well. He helped them get there with his prayers and everything that he was doing. Caleb Williams had a great throw to send the game into overtime and then threw a bad throw to end the game in overtime. So
I think that's legitimately how you can end that statement.
Yeah, pretty much.
Caleb
Williams
threw a 55-yard pass that counted for 14 yards to the tight end to send it to overtime. They didn't go for 2.
No, they did not go for 2, which was weird.
You have a problem?
They should have went for 2. Should have went for it.
I have no issues them not going for 2 when the head coach, when Ben Johnson said we didn't go for 2 because when there are short yardage like that within the 5 yards into the red zone, it did not go well.
I would have just rather to live or die with going for 2.
But his explanation was because in that game it did not go well and they always got shut down. So his explanation I can live with because I thought they were going for 2. This is a wrap.
Yeah,
and they just get the field goal to go to overtime, and both teams had the opportunity. Caleb Williams, unfortunately,
made a bad play.
Well, there was a bad read on DJ Moore or Caleb Williams. Either way,
but if you're Caleb Williams, you had a great year. Did not hit 4,000 passing yards, so Bears still had a.
I was right.
Brandon was right. I was wrong. But you got to get better accuracy-wise. You can't just be chucking up.
He was more accurate.
You got to be more accurate.
Over 4,000 yards. But, like I said, the 2-point conversion, I'm cool with because, he was able to actually explain why we didn't go for it.
Yeah.
And they really had the opportunity to win it there in overtime. The Rams got it done.
Yep. They got it done.
With viewership of 45.4 million views.
I'm telling you right now,
on NBC,
the NFC Championship game is going to blow that viewership out of the motherfucking water. Seattle Rams NFC Championship game. Cooper Kupp facing his old team. Oh boy, Sam Darnold, Matthew Stafford. Boy, we about that Seattle's defense and their offense versus the Rams' offense, and their defense when it decides to show up and play football. That's going to be a game. And honestly, Brandon, I'm going to keep it a buck. I've switched on this game a lot. I don't really know where I want to go. I Seattle's defense.
Let's just get to it. Seattle Seahawks, number 1 seed, versus the number 5 Rams.
Yep.
They split during the regular season.
Yes, they did.
The Seahawks defense never sacked.
Matthew Stafford. Not one time.
Seattle is 2.5-point favorite at home.
Wild.
Who we got?
Rams by 3, 27-24. Rams going to the Super Bowl. Matthew Stafford takes home Super Bowl MVP against the New England Patriots. And
Jumping over to the Broncos, the number 1 seed versus the Patriots. New England is favored by 4.5
That's
on
wild.
the road.
That's wild.
Versus the backup,
Jared Stidham, who hasn't thrown a pass or played in a game since 2023, mind you, I might add. But he's a starting quarterback in this league at a 1-3 career record.
I'm kind of like shocked that they didn't call Cam
anybody
Newton, like Cam Newton, Tom Brady, somebody come
in and play quarterback. But I'm taking the Patriots. Patriots beat the Broncos handily. Move on to the Super Bowl.
Unless there's bad weather,
and
which
the
is
Patriots,
a very strong potential in Colorado
with all these storms that we got going on. But that's my Rams, Patriots, Super Bowl. Rams win the Super Bowl.
Do you have any issues with the current halftime Super Bowl?
Yeah, I don't want to get into that one.
Bunny.
Bad Bunny is apparently going to be wearing a dress that's being reported to celebrate Puerto Rico's heritage, drag queen, stuff like that.
LGBT
community. I'm not going to really touch on that. If that's what you want to do.
Y'all lucky because I was willing to touch on it.
Brandon was willing to touch on it. We
Let
appreciate
us know what you think.
Let us know what you guys think about all that. And we will see you guys next week.
Ain't this a bitch? Ain't that a bitch?